So in terms of the sibling rivalry, it's very easy for people to think that that would be a major thing.
I think you were quite dismissive of my ideas at the time.
And we got gazumped by the estate agent.
Yeah, I think often people think of rivalry in the sense that someone's trying to get resources from the other.
Yeah, and the one line that did it for me just before he fired me. So from that rivalry thing, what do you say? What do you think? Hi, welcome to our podcast. We think we're going to call it Heads Together with me, Nicky Clarke, and my brother,
Michael Van Clarke.
So in terms of the sibling rivalry, it's very easy for people to think that that would be a major thing. And I don't know if it's as relevant as people might think, because I think back to the 70s and there was nothing going on there. I mean, I was establishing myself, you were just starting, it was all fun and lovely. And the 80s, of course, was that you actually did establish your own identity, from doing sessions to now becoming a very busy stylist. And of course I was there, yes, as a busy stylist, but away a lot of the time doing session stuff. So that didn't really come into it. I think it was really, as the obvious one would be, of course, when I was not at John's and I got, unceremoniously, ousted out.
I think it was from that time, because like you say, I came into your profession and you helped me enormously, and we spent so much time together outside of work doing work and stuff. And I think often people think of rivalry in the sense that someone's trying to get resources from the other.
Yes,
there was none of that because I think throughout that period we always had more clients than we could handle.
That's so true.
And those clients we shared and moved between. There was always too much work to do, so it wasn't like someone was trying to take business. I feel that when I jumped the gun and opened my own business and left this sort of potential partnership that was never going to happen with John's, I think that caused a bit of angst, and then things didn't go well with you and John after, and then when you came to the salon it was all a bit frenetic, and how we work slightly differently in a salon environment, and as you say, with wives and girlfriends
thrown
possibly
into the mix,
and sisters, possibly it was more stuff going on with them than,
and I think that is, and I wasn't necessarily aware of it. I remember you saying it,
protecting turf.
Absolutely, and I think that was certainly what was going on, but I wasn't aware of it, and even the kind of the frenetic stuff that you talk about, I genuinely, when all of that kind of publicity was coming in, I wasn't generating it. I mean, it was coming to me, and I did see it as, that's quite good. I'm doing it at Michael's, and there's a bit of, reflective stuff, and that would be kind of great for the salon. But of course, that's very easy not to see that and just go, as has been quoted, the circus came to town and all of that. And I do think that was a time. And of course, it didn't help that we didn't really speak that much from that period of. There was a few years where we didn't really speak that much. I don't know how intentional that was, or just the way it happened. I don't know, but no, I think I'm very quick to, when people talk to me in terms of knowing that we're in the same profession, and I'm very quick to say, actually, you and I are very different, and actually in terms of things like recognition and awards, I always say Michael matches me in awards, but in the business sense, I say he's the benchmark that people have to attain to, and in fact, I didn't know, you just kind of started to do all that again. I know that's what you did in terms of investors in people and all that, which wasn't really what we did. I mean, I'd like to have said that we did, but we were a little bit all over the place, and that's what you weren't doing. So I do think that I don't see that rivalry at all. I mean, I really genuinely want everybody to be successful. I mean, and I kind of like the fact that there is a difference. And I've said it about hairdressing before. I've said it about the great thing that makes hairdressing so special. And I also think that British hairdressing is the best in the world, is because it is so diverse. You have the likes of the Tony and guys and the Sassoons and all those other different people. And it's kind of great that there are all those people. I mean, it's not to say that I necessarily I can take the Sassoon thing and go, I love the fact that somebody's doing it. I don't really want to do that. A bit like French food to me. I love the fact that there's a benchmark of this kind of purism, I don't really want to eat French food. I'd rather go and eat Italian or Greek and Mediterranean, because it's all a bit like, come, we'll show you how to eat. So from that rivalry thing, what do you say? What do you think? Do you think there is? I mean, do you think...
I don't think there is at all now. I think
there
was that period when it was probably from that period when I wanted to do something together.
That's the 80s, though.
Probably till about like mid-80s, probably till about 10 years later, when...
do you think that would have been...
I think you were quite dismissive of my ideas at the time.
I don't remember them now. Is that being dismissive as well?
Sorry?
I don't remember them now.
Yeah. You were quite dismissive, and also I think...
In terms of the way a salon should be?
No, but just in the sense of doing something.
Oh, I see.
And I think where you were in the height of your... celebrity, and you're on your rising star of celebrity.
No, that's not true,
with
Michael.
John as a session stylist.
As a session stylist, yeah.
And all the hope and dreams with John. And I just feel that it possibly went to your head a bit more than it should have.
No, and you know what that really is? I mean, you're right to say that there was certainly that time, from a session point of view, yes, you're absolutely right. But the person that is... the human being here is actually very nervous about doing anything.
I'm sure.
And I think that...
What comes out is often the opposite.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing with John was that there was still that belief that, from being with him in some form since I was 17 years old and doing all of the things of like earning no money and just being totally dedicated to him, I actually believed that there was still something there. And your thing about saying, well, actually, it doesn't matter. You've got, he's paying all your lawyers' fees. I remember saying that, but he's honouring the deal. I've got it. He's even paying the lawyers' bills. And you went, well, that's easier to pay the lawyers' bill than to not have you, which of course was very true in the end. But at that time, it wasn't about not wanting to be with you. It was about wanting to be with John. And that's the bit that clouded my head, because of course, he fell into exactly the trap of what everybody does, which is when they need you, they are under beholden to you. That's all great. But when they don't need you, it doesn't matter. And the one line that did it for me when, just before he fired me, was that very thing where they just got to a point where they said, we can get Sam McKnight cheaper than you. No. And that was that line that did it for me.
Because you were just purely there for credits.
Yeah, because it was just like, and it was a bit like, oh, well, that's very nice. I said, what happened to the last 16 years of me doing everything and doing all of that stuff in the belief of what's going to happen at the other end? Of course you can do that now. You have the strength. It doesn't matter if somebody leaves, one person leaves, the salon will always survive. That's fine. And that's the thing. That's the thing that, and those are the things that, of course I made a mistake, but I didn't know at that time.
Listen, it all turned out well, because had that not happened, you wouldn't have gone through your whole building of empire, and I wouldn't have gone through mine.
Do you think if we had been together? Because in the end, what happened at that point when I didn't have anything, other than just, you giving me a place to work, was that I always said to Leslie, my ex-wife, I'm not a number one. I'm a really good number two, but I'm not number one. And she always, she said, well, I'll be your number one. Now, she meant that not in a kind of, she meant it in terms of the very thing that was to do with the running a business or doing a business. She would do that. And of course, that is what happened. But, it's interesting because, of course, stars aligned and all of that, and it is what it is. But I wonder what would have happened, actually, had we done it together. I don't know either.
I think the interesting opportunity was that building in Brook Street, which on the corner of Grosvenor Square, which was a 20,000 square foot building that I spoke to you about. But
I don't remember that one. I remember the one in Knightsbridge.
No, there was one after Beaumont Street. This is like 99 now. There was an amazing building came up in...
99?
Yeah. 10 years later.
19. So I already had my salon.
Yeah.
Oh,
There was
what was
a
that
most amazing building came up on the corner of Grosvenor
God, I
Square
remember that.
for next to nothing.
God.
Literally next to nothing. Yeah, it's the old Revlon headquarters.
Yes, I
And,
do
remember it's like 20,000 square feet, like double fronted, 5 windows wide, 150 feet deep. With a
But I never went to see it,
garden.
did I?
Did you not see it with me? No,
I knew Revlon was near. I always knew that Revlon was around us, but I never knew exactly
Yeah.
where it was. So what was it that you found a building?
I
that-
wanted to take this building and make it into something much bigger.
And to do it
club-like.
together.
Well, if we'd got it, it could have been an opportunity to do something together.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been.
But it was a sealed bid process. We did a bid for it with brochures and everything, and they loved the idea, but we got beaten on price.
Yeah, I hate
Not by
those.
much.
I hate those sealed bids.
Property. Well, we sort of lived through property booms, and the last 10 years it's been not like that at all.
No.
As they've
Well, of course, the thing is with property, we're on to another subject now, was that we don't come from that ilk, having grown up in sort of council or association housing or whatever it was we had. And of course, Dad was of the belief that, you shouldn't be so stupid to go and put all your money into a mortgage and stuff like that. And of course, when I think I bought something first, didn't I? I bought a flat for 23,000. Fabulous. I mean, those sort of prices.
those were the
wonderful,
days.
isn't it? Those were the days. And sold it for 34. But of course, you had all of that issue with your flat. I think, but was Belsize Park the first one? And in fact, I think John Frieda didn't he step in? Oh no, his father stepped in because she didn't want to sell to you or something, or took away some of the garden. Was it beautiful flat?
She was very difficult to
Very
deal
difficult,
with.
I remember.
Very difficult to deal with. But I remember being at your flat one night, being on the phone to her for half an hour.
Oh, God.
And I remember you just saying to me, "Why don't you just tell her to off?" And I went, "No, I actually want this flat."
God, I don't remember that.
I mean, she was a nightmare to deal with, but I did get it in the end.
You did get it in the end, and of course, actually, I think Dad was so concerned that you had all this amount of money mortgage on your head that he went in and did. I think
We spent a year doing it.
He spent a year doing it. I mean, it was beautiful, and why it was a stunning flat. It really was stunning. And in fact, that was the time. This was the madness of that time, where I had a flat not that 2 doors away from me. I think you'd already moved there, but it was 2 doors away from it, and we got gazumped by the estate agent. But anyway, yeah, those were the days. They're not like that now, that's for sure.
Yeah,
But,
it's a little bit harder. That's great, Nicky. Let's wrap that one there.
Okay.